If you're bringing in cans, maybe they're coming from Canada, aluminum. If you're bringing in, of course, aluminum does have a flavor too. If you're bringing in cartons to package those cans in, they're coming in mostly from the Far East, mostly from China. These prices are going up exponentially. What's that going to do to product distribution?
We're lucky enough that coming out of COVID, we basically pivoted our supply chain from more of a globally based supply chain to really being 100% domestic. From a core manufacturing perspective, everything that we are sourcing is coming from the United States, from the cans, the corrugate, wine, obviously manufacturing actually local in Napa. Now, obviously there's raw commodity price exposure. So for us, the biggest exposure that we see is aluminum. However, if you look at the imports of aluminum, around 45% of the aluminum in the US is actually being imported into the country. You assume about a 25% tariff increase. That cost to us really is not that dramatic. It's about a penny or two per can. So from our perspective, our cost of goods sold has not increased that much dramatically. So our margins are okay. But we know the bigger impact is really from our friends in Europe. Something like $5 billion of imported wines a year are coming from Europe: Champagne, Cava, Prosecco, really anything coming from Bordeaux or Burgundy. Those wines are obviously being marked up significantly. Now, where we see that impact is both at the European producer level and then the importer and distributor tier. Within the traditional alcohol market, there's a three-tier system. We as a producer have to sell to a distributor. The distributor then has to sell to an account like a Marriott, a Delta, a Target, wherever you're actually buying the wine. If that distributor's business has been driven by imported wines and those wines are now expensive to consumers, their businesses are really struggling. And so as a result, we are seeing the distributors having a huge amount of negative impact on the backs of the specific wine and alcohol market, as Jen mentioned previously, has been declining for the past 3 years. It's leading to a substantial transition in the market overall. It's leading to SKU rationalization. Brands are being cut left and right. You're seeing majority of staffing changes from the RNDCs, Southerns, the big players in the distributor tier. And then you're also seeing that pressure pushing all the way to sort of Wall Street expectations for Targets, Costco's. The consumer retailers are having a huge amount of pressure as well because they're having inflationary pressure at the distributor level. And then consumers, what happens when all of a sudden everything is more expensive? They're spending less. So it's created this perfect storm at the market level that is really impacting a lot of our competitors. Luckily, from the cost side, we as a domestic winery are currently fairly isolated, but the broader industry impact is clearly going to be quite dramatic if something doesn't change here in the next 30 to 60 days.